welcome back to the Cozy Ghoul Society, the little corner of the world where it's always a bit spooky, a bit silly, and totally cozy. I'm your host, Anna, haunting your feed with ghost stories, lore, and the occasional unhinged tangent. So grab your blanket, light your candle, and let's dive into the weird, the creepy, and the downright delightful because here, every day is Halloween, and every ghoul is welcome. Let's get right into it. So I kind of wanted to start this off just a little bit different than how I normally do this. I usually do a little bit of a script based on all the research that I've done, just trying to like make sure every thought is concise and just everything works really well. A lot of you guys know that you're new here, unless you're new here, sorry, is that I am autistic and a lot of things work better for me that are scripted. So I know what I'm saying. I know what I'm trying to talk to you guys about. And at least my brain doesn't go like, what was I trying to say again? Or go completely off script to a different story. But today I kind of wanted to try something new and try to see what if it just happens if I like free flow a little bit and see how it goes. So, one of my first things I kind of wanted to talk to you guys about. So, I have kind of put it in like some of the teasers that I grew up with ghosts. I have lots of stories. I have a lot of interactions with spirits. I'm not sure if you guys can hear the train in the background, but the train is like choo choo. So sorry. But there there's a lot of stories. So I thought I would just start off first with the little story about the ghost Casey that's been around me since I was just a little girl. So we lived in this house in Vegas when I was little. And it was like, I really don't know what the area was. I remember the house though, but I think I was about 4 or 5. And during this time, I think if I remember, my mom said I would sleepwalk a little bit. And I was very into playing with the ghost in our house. And her name was Casey. If I remember right, I think she was about, I want to say 12. Like a 12-year-old girl, maybe a little bit younger. I don't remember that much into it. But I would be playing Barbie dolls with her, and my mom would be looking at me like, "Who is she playing with?" And so if you keep in mind about my mother has never been one to shy away from if I was doing something a little bit odd, she just kind of like want the answers because she's always been the type of person that, okay, that's not really quote unquote normal. So I'm going to figure out what I can do to help. So she was trying to find ways to help me out. And as I grew up, got like a little older as everything happens, I didn't really talk too much about Casey. I'm so sorry if you guys heard my I didn't really like talk too much about Casey. She was pretty much just like a guide that I had when I was little. My mom would say that there'd be times where I'd sleepwalk, and then other times where they had to put those childproof locks at the top of the door because I'd try to go out into the street and my parents would be trying to catch me at night, trying to make sure I don't go outside, which I'm not sure how many stories. So if your parents have a story about you trying to escape outside at night, let me know because that's fun. But yeah, no, she kind of disappeared for a while, but I always knew her. And the thing is, what I can say about Casey is she was a protector and she was somebody who made me feel safe and calm. Because even to this day, if I was afraid of something, I would name it Casey. And I'm pretty sure I touched on this on one of the earlier kind of explaining to you guys about the podcast, a little stories that I would be talking about. Casey, there was a rover in the pool because I used to just like prance around the water when I was a little kid, not really try to swim or anything, but the rover that was clean the pool, its name was Casey to me. And I would like step on it and like ride it around the pool because Casey had me. Casey was the spirit or was the inanimate object that made me feel safe. Even down to when I got my first kitty, Angel, I wanted to name her Casey, and my mom had to say, honey, you name everything Casey. You need to think of another name. And honestly, I didn't think about it till now. I named my cat Angel because I couldn't name her Casey, and now it kinda makes sense that in a child's brain, Casey was an angel for me. I named my cat Angel. I don't know if I'm stretching, if I'm thinking, I'm just thinking maybe child's brain, it would, like, connect 2 and 2 together. It's like, Casey Angel. Like, Angel is my kitty. Can't name her Casey, so name her Angel because that's what Casey is. Casey's an angel. So, I don't know. I don't know much about that. But if we fast forward a few years, every house I moved into after this house was relatively haunted. There was a time period where I'd have what they would call a psychic attack, where I actually had like full on twitches and stuff. And I mean, honestly, I believe 100% in psychic attacks and things like that. But I also now think because I'm autistic, I was having issues with like energy and spirits on top of already having an autistic experience. It made it like 10 times harder on me. So I went to a reader in Sedona, Arizona. Technically, my mom did. And she told my mom, like, what crystal to get me, and then after that, my whole crystal obsession started. So I was so obsessed with carnelians, that's all I would wear. Like, my carnelian would be on my neck every single day. If I took it off, I'd have a meltdown. There's even a story when I got so angry and I was wearing my carnelian, and it disappeared, and I cried for so long because I couldn't find that, and we had to go buy a new one instantly because I felt unprotected without my carnelian. Like, I feel like some of these stories, it's like, oh, okay, whatever. But all of this starts to tie into when I started my spiritual practice, where I was starting to do readings. So around age 15, 30 now, but at 15, I started to do readings. And I built a pretty good client base, I would like to say, and I loved it. Doing readings, making YouTube videos, really trying to become like a spiritual influencer at the time. Trying to be that person who's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna talk about ghosts, I'm gonna talk about spirits, I'm gonna talk about how to help you deal with spirits and keeping your energy good. It was just everything I was about. So I was doing readings all the time, and it was a lot of fun to the point that I would have spirits coming home with me though, because I wasn't protecting myself the way I should have at the time, but I was like turning and burning people, like not like burning people, but constant clients, a lot of clients of how I would come into my reality. So it was a lot of fun to read people. And, I had a lot of people who I genuinely just enjoyed and loved working with. Even to the point I went to this psychic center called the Psychic Eye, and I took classes there. And I think I probably was around like 14, 15 was when I was really starting to get into reading. And I took classes, and I forgot what my teacher's name was, but she was amazing. I loved this teacher. And she would teach us stuff. So, one of my favorite exercises that she taught us was, if you guys want to try it, it's you have somebody pick out a family photo for you and put it in an envelope face down, and you put your hands on the envelope with your eyes closed, and you write down what you feel. Everything you feel, everything you smell, just absolutely everything you get. So one of the first things I got was I smelled oranges. And I was like, it's green. I smell oranges. There's all of this stuff that I was just like really getting keen on. So I wrote it down. I was just like, you know what? This is so weird. Like, I'm not gonna get any of this right. Because, you're a teenager, you kind of start to doubt yourself just a little bit. And I was like the youngest and the whole class. So everyone turned it upside down, like, and the took our things out. And in my photo, it had oranges, and we had to go around and read it. And let's just say this was my last class here, because after that, I was told that I am too young to be in this class, even though my mother signed me into it, and she signed the paper that it was okay that I was in this class. So I don't know, I guess we can take that as we want, but it was interesting about that. And like I said, my teacher was really awesome. I started teaching a little bit after that. Not too much, but I did start teaching a little bit. And I think I did readings all up until I was about 24. And then no, probably later, maybe 28. And then I kind of stopped doing it. Like I do readings occasionally for people, but not too much. But it's been fun. And it's been a really cool thing to like sit down and talk about. I would love to sit down and have more little esoteric stories and talk more about past lives, which I have an episode coming up about past lives and a lot of history episodes coming up. So I'm really excited to continue to build this podcast with you guys. But this episode just ended up being a little bit of me yapping and telling you guys a little bit more about me. But I hope you guys enjoyed this and hope you stay weird, stay spooky, and bye guys.